Hello, my beloved waking gods and goddesses. Welcome to Love, Truth, and Beauty. Do-it-yourself spiritual awakening for divine in the flesh, where together we learn how to surf, hack, and navigate the ups and downs of the totality of human experience, creating a new earth beyond the limitations of this perception-managed reality matrix of five senses, having discovered our true divine creative natures in our true sensual sensorial universe of seven senses, composing formless into form outside of the matrix in the true quantum field creation field universe. Before we get started, please do give this video a thumbs up. Please also hit the subscribe button and the notification bell, selecting the all setting so that when I upload videos, the YouTube will let you know. I generally upload Tuesdays and Fridays, 2 p.m. Eastern. My name is Maria West, and I am your hostess of the highest, here to download, upload, inspire, and usher you into your bestest and brightest selves, your bestest and brightest light, and inviting you all to open your hearts wider and wider and wider still. Hello, my love bugs, my honey bunnies, my boobalas. Mwah! Welcome to Love, Truth, and Beauty, episode 257. And in today's video, I'm continuing with populating my video series playlist of reading aloud a translation that went from the Russian to the Arabic to the English of Hacking the Technogenic System by Vadim Zeland, who brought transurfing to the universe. And we hope that Vadim translates this book into the English very soon. And until he does, we have our ways, and we will talk about it aloud in the English from other translations with the personal efforts of my good friends Moheel, Jawad, and Teodora, Salvia, who took it upon themselves to take on the task of sharing its wealth of knowledge, particularly during this crazy time in our human history. So I'm doing my part to share this information so that we can integrate it into knowledge and further integrate it into wisdom into our lives. Okay, so grab your favorite beverages, my kids, my darlings, and sit back and allow me to read to you chapter 9 of Hacking the Technogenic System, this chapter entitled Grabbing Attention. Okay, we've been talking about owning our attention. So, okay, here we go. After the storm caused by the book of reality transurfing, I literally plunged into reading letters from readers and the demands by various periodicals, including foreign periodicals, to write articles and or conduct interviews. So I face serious difficulties regarding the available time, which was reflected in the necessary time to write this book, which is in the reader's hands now, and this book just took too long to be published. But on the other hand, such thing delights the heart because such a warm interest indicates that the option of the topic of transurfing renewal, which was discussed in recent books, was a good choice and came at the right time. The idea of cleaning the body, raising the level of energy generated in it, and liberating awareness by consuming natural foods received great support from readers. I receive many messages full of enthusiasms and gratitude for the renewed transurfing, which gives a huge, stronger effectiveness than the traditional transurfing. I only recently discovered that something strange is happening. Always and forever, people ask me in the letters what is quite clear in the books. Imagine that. The scene is literally as follows. I ask a straightforward and clear question in the book, and then at the same time, the same moment, I answer this question with utmost precision and clarity, and yet someone who has read the book writes to me a letter asking the same question. I had no interest in such situations before. I would say that they are due to the usual attention in each of us. However, in recent times, this has become repeated and repeated until we can conclude that what is happening are not individual cases, but rather a phenomenon or something that becomes natural. Therefore, I had the following impression. It is as if a large number of readers are reading the book in question and their attention is drawn towards someone, or that something is grabbing their interest while they read. And the case here is the same as with energy. If one of us is sick, fighting disease consumes a large portion of their energy. Or if a person submerges himself with obligations that exceeds his capacity, the greater part of the free energy is trapped and stored as reserve to fulfill those obligations. Hence, this chapter can be summarized through the following points. Number 1, yeah, you hear the chirping there? I have not yet changed those batteries. Number 1, I think I once explained in my first books that pendulums seize a person's attention, then he is in a fit of rage about something, or worried about something, or afraid of something. In such cases, a person is completely absent from consciousness, and he dives into his worries from head to feet, as if he was living in a dream, and he does not come back to see or realize what is going on in the reality surrounding him. But at the time, he did not describe this case as a general phenomenon. But now it is clearly unfolding as a natural phenomenon. I see this phenomenon as a warning or alarm unfolding, because about 2 or 3 years ago, it was not so prominent and clear. Therefore, I will return to it more than once to analyze it, and now I will limit myself to some examples that illustrate the effect of kidnapping attention, of hijacking attention. 2, this is what happens if, when you duly treat the principles of transurfing as absolute principles. You sink to the top of your head in the illusion that you yourself created, and at that time, instead of controlling reality, it becomes impossible for you to simply try to correct it. Number 3. This is what I insist on explaining. Ignoring some provocateurs is possible, but ignoring phenomenon is simply a kind of stupidity. And we must at least study it from the position of a neutral observer. The method of the ostrich is useless in this race. Of course, the body parasites, the consciousness parasites, as well as the social parasites are present in your world, in your universe. And these will not disappear from the mere declaration that they do not exist. The first will settle in your body by stealth, and it wants you to forget about it and not remember it. The second can simply take over your consciousness without suspecting anything. As for the third, you will definitely meet them in government institutions, or anywhere else. Okay, we talked about the social parasites in the last chapter that I read. Number 4. The Transurfing Center announced a free seminar, and it registered a very large number of people and was much more than it was expected, forcing the center to cancel further registration on the first day because classes were limited, but the actual attendees were very low. So this thing aroused an interest of the workers at the Transurfing Center, and they made a questionnaire to find out why people were not attending. It turned out later that the reason were more than trite, as following. Okay? The time did not allow. I was late. I forgot. The time was not right. I came, but not on time. The address was wrong, and that is why I did not receive an invitation, and other excuses. This indicates that most people are asleep and ignorant And I mean here that they are literally acting as if they are in a dream. They are not the ones who run their lives, but their lives are what happens on their own. It is not at all difficult to assume that if participation in the seminar was paid, then no one would be late in attending. But is it reasonable that money is the only factor capable of arousing interest? I assure you not, okay? And the reason why I say that is because I have clients who pay me thousands of dollars and flake on their appointments when they know there are no makeups. Anyways, I digress. And if the questionnaire was done among people who are interested in transurfing, what would be the case with the rest of the people? It turns out to me that the effect of hibernation is now increasing and accelerating more and more because a few years ago, people were not in such a state of hibernation. Number 5, compare the modern man with the man who lived 1,000 years ago when there were no newspapers, cinema, radio, television, internet, or mobile phones, and you will see that they're completely different. And this is not intended to be the difference between them in the level of mental development or the level of progress. Civilized or cultured, but the essence of the issue here is that the modern person sits, in the literal sense of the word, on a media needle and has become unable to dispense with the torrent of information that is thrown at him or her from the outside. And it is this torrent acting as a system that generates the effect of grabbing attention activity, hijacking attention activity. Okay. Number 6, you may think that you are completely absorbed in what is occupying your mind at the present moment and that your attention is in the highest degree of concentration regarding the thing that you are busy with. But in fact, only a small part of your attention works. And as for the rest of it, which is the largest part, it is tied by an invisible thread to the internet, and it is booked as its reserve, such that the financial deposit in the bank in order to serve the flow of information that directs you. Number 7, and there is in addition an important part of your attention that is trapped and in a hibernating state. The siege stresses it. The synthetic food that has been synthesized and every other substance that excites to this or that degree, it causes a change in the state of consciousness. Number 8, attention is also trapped, and so is consciousness. Every food that is dead, every food cooked over a fire. Number 9, in this way, there are 2 parallel processes in reality: attention grabbing and attention siege. These 2 processes are an integral part of the original and more complex systems evolution mechanism. Number 10, the vast majority of people live in a dormant state, and they move as if they are in a dream. They are not the ones who direct their lives themselves, but their lives lead them the way they want. Number 11, instead of people making the attention to take the first step in front of the mirror, in order for the image reflected in the mirror to advance to meet them, they try to hijack the image and pull it toward them by force. Number 12, the modern person in the literal sense of the word sits on a media needle, and he has become unable to give up the torrent of information flowing to him from the outside. Number 13, the flow of information created by the global system generates the effect of capturing human attention, which is very effective. Number 14, only a small part of your attention is activated, while the bulk of it remains in reserve. such as a financial deposit in the bank, and thus remains with the system in the service to the flow of external information that directs all your behavior. Number 15, another important part of our attention is in a state of siege and in a state of hibernation. And the synthetic food that has been manufactured is tightening the siege on it. The phenomenon of attention grabbing, which has become common in recent years, is the first symptom that indicates that the global system is evolving as rapidly as a cancerous tumor. Think about that. This will not pass easily for a person because his talents are trapped and his potential is drastically diminished. We had started by discussing the principles of transurfing and the thorny issues, but now we turn to shed some light on the origin of these difficulties. Okay, my loves, that is my speech. I hope you enjoyed my reading of Chapter 9 of Hacking the Technogenic System, which talks about grabbing attention. And next up is Chapter 10, entitled Understanding the Origin of the Technogenic System. So we're gonna get down and get dirty and out the mechanisms, okay? Please help me grow my channel by giving this video a thumbs up and leaving a comment in the comments box below or in private. Please share this video with your community's friends and family members and on social media platforms you feel would benefit from this content. Please hit the subscribe button and the notification bell, selecting the all settings so that when I upload videos to YouTube will let you know. And if you find value, enjoy, benefit, or at least entertained by my content and videos, won't you please consider supporting my work through a donation? My PayPal link is below, as is my coffee.com link, so that you can buy me perhaps the proverbial cup of coffee in support of my work. I thank you all so much for hanging out with me, with your participation and focused attention. I really do appreciate it. I cannot do this work without you, and I do this work for you, and especially for those of you who know that you are so much more than what the Matrix endeavors to relegate and define you to only be. So until next time, my dear hearts, always act from love outside of the Matrix, from your center screen, composing new reality, quantum jumping, up leveling. Let's go higher and higher and higher in our lifelines so that we can all be the love that we are. We can share our love. We can create. We can make art. We can make music. We can make love. And you can all help me repopulate the true quantum field creation field universe. Take care, my loves. Here's to your love, truth, and beauty. Mwah!